George Elek here from Not the Top 20 with a video for DragonSports, and this time we're going to be focusing on an area of Swansea City recruitment, specifically in the centre of midfield. Now previously, when we've seen Swansea have possession-based managers playing the Swansea way, there's been no doubt who's been the most important player for Swansea when they've been playing well, and that was Matt Grimes. Midfield metronome who would rack up an incredible amount of passes. His incisive passing and his ability to keep hold of possession was so important to enabling Swansea to play that they wanted to, and his departure in January to Coventry was a massive loss this season and will be a massive loss for them going forward. They replaced him in January with Lewis O'Brien, who's a very different kind of player, still very good on the ball, but much more of a bundle of energy really, and someone who's keen to break forward and break into the box. But there's no denying that they have to replace Grimes. O'Brien has now returned back to Nottingham Forest after his loan. So who do they bring in order to do so? And it's been really interesting in my mind to see the player that they've been linked to in the last couple of weeks, a player they were also linked to in January in Ethan Erhahon of Lincoln City. And he is a really interesting player and someone who, from a positional sense, would fill the void left by Grimes. You know, best played either as the deepest midfielder in a 3 or in a sitting 2, but a completely different profile of players play that role from what we saw in previously in Grimes. He is competent on the ball. He is by no means a bad ball player, but his best qualities and his best attributes are in terms of breaking up play and winning the ball back and recycling it effectively. And he's been a standout player in League One over the last couple of seasons in terms of doing that since coming to Lincoln from north of the border a couple of seasons ago. He's really impressed consistently there. He's been a big part of Michael Scabala's team, who have been on the fringes of the playoffs for the last couple of seasons, and he definitely is deserving of his championship move if Swansea were able to get him. But this might signify a bit of a change of playing style, I guess, for Swansea under Alan Sheehan. You know, we know that the way they like to play them, we know that the way they like to get the ball down, and I'm sure that will continue. And if we look at passing stats in particular and possession stats after Luke Williams left and Sheehan came in, there wasn't a massive drop-off in terms of the level of possession, but I think we'll see Sheehan look to use the ball and be a bit more direct with it and look to dominate the game, still dominate the ball, but also having the understanding that having a player like Erhahon who can sit at the base of midfield and win the ball back and distribute it to those further forward might be the best way to go about things. So I think he's an interesting proposition, but I want to throw another player into the mix, and a player that I'm sure a lot of championship teams will be after this season. Luton getting relegated out of the Championship means that there are going to be a lot of players who have proven Championship quality and even recently performing well in the Premier League. Carlton Morris up front being one of those, but Jordan Clark's another one. He's a kind of an all-action midfield player, probably more in the mould of O'Brien than Grimes. Someone who is really keen to get forward, can peel off onto the flanks too, and crucially scores massive goals for Luton throughout his career, including an important goal in the playoff final, sending them to the Premier League too. He's someone who's leads by example, who's a senior pro, a lot of minutes for Luton, and I just wonder if a combination of someone like Erhahon making the step up to the Championship for the first time, who can be the solid defensive option sitting the base of midfield, and then more of an attacking option who can bring the energy and the pressing ability in Clark, might be a good way to go about this. Really interesting to see how Swansea approaching the market this season. Lots to do, no doubt, but I think early rumours and the link to Erhahon means we might be getting a glimpse into what the change of style could be under Sheehan as he has his first pre-season with the club going into next season.